What's good? This day. Look, you gotta be you. You gotta be yourself, and you gotta be proud of that. You gotta be you. And in order to be you, you actually gotta find yourself. And in order to find yourself, you have to give yourself room to explore. You really do. It's a journey. You don't come out of your mother's womb knowing who you are. You're not a child knowing who you are. You learn these things. You learn what you like. You learn what you don't like. You learn how you want to respond to life, what people say, what people do, how you feel about life so that you can express yourself through your clothing, the type of music you like, the type of films you like, art in general, your passion, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and your response to all of it. It's a journey. It's a journey, and there's a lot to explore in life. Where you like to be in life, where you don't like to be in life, like how emotional you are, or um, how intelligent you are, or how ignorant you are when it comes to certain things, because we're all ignorant in certain areas. And again, your response to it all as the observer. It takes a lot of living to discover yourself. And you know what's horrible is that a lot of people, starting with your family members, a lot of times rob you of the opportunity to explore yourself and your surroundings and your response to it all. And that's really unfortunate because it creates performative characters. And so while people say that they love you, you have to question who the you is that they say that they love. Is it the performative version, or is it truly the real you? Like, do they love how you just are, or are they offended by it? A lot of times, people are offended by the authentic person who is exploring. How do I know? Because I'm that person. A lot of my family members did not and still do not like how I express myself, how I choose to learn. Have always raised a finger and told me I ought to be this way, I ought to be that way. But guess what? None of them, none of them could be there in my toughest moments in life because it was my moment. And guess who I needed in those toughest moments? I needed me, the real me, because I needed to figure out how the real me wanted to respond in those moments. And thankfully, I held on to the real me the whole way through. At certain points, I allow people to get a piece of my authenticity. I gave certain people my ear, thinking that, they were just trying to protect me from, uh, my own demise in certain areas. But a lot of times they just wanted me to blend in with society the way that they do. They wanted me to be safe. So I'm not saying that it was always a bad thing. Sometimes it wasn't good. Other times it was just their ignorance, them trying to protect me, but they were protecting me with the perspective of the performative person that they are, instead of allowing me to make my own mistakes, allowing me to figure out how I want to respond in life from making those mistakes so that I could be this authentic person who's also mature. Like, that's just life. Like, you got to let people do them until they figure it out. And some people won't figure it out. And that's still, you got to allow them to do them. You got to allow them to do them. It's better for a person to be authentic because at least you know what you get. At least you know what you're getting, because the performative person a lot of times walks around and lies. They lie to themselves when they look in the mirror, and then they lie to the rest of the world because they want to protect their own reputation and want to play it safe. And it's unfortunate because when you become performative, when you become the inauthentic person, you end up losing yourself so badly that you don't have a grip on any areas of your life because you live it based on other people's opinions. And a lot of times you'll start making those things up. You'll start making up what a person silently thinks about you when you don't even know what they think about you, because you're worried from the beginning about what they think. So you want to show up as this best version of yourself, but this best version of yourself is so far away from who you truly are on the inside. So when you go back home And when you're having private moments with yourself, you're agitated and you don't even understand why. And it's because you let other people have their way with you instead of you being somebody who understands you and nurtures yourself. You are your caretaker. You are. You're the person that you have to live with 24/7, who has to deal with the thoughts and the emotions that you experience in this lifetime and all the circumstances that this character has to deal with. It's you. So if you're worried about what everybody thinks and you've been performative the entire way through, when you actually need a shoulder to lean on, when you need somebody to call, somebody to really talk to, the real you, when the real you wants to express themselves, you'll have nobody to express yourself to because the people that you have in your life, you've performed around them so much to the point where they don't know who the real you is. And you can't even fully blame them. You could blame them partially, especially if they did it to you as a child, but like it's always going to be up to you to allow the real you to be let loose and to be free and explore life. Like it was always up to you. You can do it at any moment. If that's been you the whole way through and you're listening to this video, to this message, do it now. Like be authentic now. Be who you are now. It's better to do it now. It's so liberating to just let loose and be you. And I'm not saying be ignorant in your approach to everything and just be reckless. Respect people. Respect their boundaries, bro. Respect people and respect their boundaries. If their boundaries are built on you being performative, that's not a real boundary. So who cares about that? Who cares? But certain people have like, uh, they have boundaries when it comes to the level of respect that you give them, and you should be respectful. But being respectful has nothing to do with you being a performative character. The authentic version of yourself can be respectful in every room. How do I know? Because I do it. I don't talk crazy in front of my grannies. I don't talk crazy in front of them because that's just not the right setting. That's really not. But at the same time, I'm not me. I'm still going to be who I am. Both of my grandmas are Christian women, very religious. They both know I'm not. At one point, I was Christian. Now I'm not. And even when I still didn't have the same views as them. I still was wild because me being a person who was involved with the church, I still was somebody who challenged so many things that were coming from pulpits and coming out of other people in the congregation's mouths. I was like, that don't make no sense. I think that we should be living like this. Like who you see now, this person, this character, he was always here. He just didn't know certain things. And then he also knew certain things. So there was kind of like this battle going on. But that was me on my journey, figuring myself out, figuring out what life is about, because I'm ignorant to so many things in this lifetime because I'm extremely young. So me being young, I don't know so much that's going on out in the world that has been propagated to people for a long time that we just believe in because it's just always been like that. But once I started like seeing it for myself completely and coming to real conclusions as my brain started to develop more and as I started to touch more life, I'm like, the real me that's always been here is going to do the same thing, and he's going to question this even more, and he's going to come to his own conclusions. And if I got to go this way on my own, I'm going to do that because that's how I've always been. Because I had a mother who wanted me to be performative in so many ways. I would be physically disciplined for not being performative since I was very, very young. So there's a lot of things that I don't like to do in life. Like I hate school. I hate learning when it comes to like curriculum. A lot of times I really don't like that because when I was younger, I was disciplined for not getting certain answers right to things because my mom saw the genius in me, the intellectual genius in me when I was younger, 4 years old, able to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, spelling. And so she felt like she had to give me the hard whip, like how a lot of like Asian parents do a lot of times, you know? Like, and my mom is partially Asian. So that culture like instills people pleaser in their children a lot of times and tells them to be performative to get an education. And my mom was exactly like that. So I have this distaste when it comes to the school system for my own reasons now. But foundationally, like, it was already built on something that I didn't agree with, that I didn't like. But it was because my mom wanted me to be performative. So that whole way through of growing up under her roof and having to go to school, I started to rebel more and more and more and more, to the point where I ran my own damn campaign with myself saying, I'm going to get all F's on purpose. And I did for like 2 years straight in high school and dropped out of high school because I didn't care. She created this type of environment where I felt like I was going to be disciplined if I wasn't going to be performative. And you know what? I said, I still am not going to be performative. I still am going to be me. So nobody's able to take that away from me. Like, nobody, not a single person. Even if they got me for a second, not to be performative, but to give them my ear, like I said earlier, to kind of take their advice a little bit. Eventually, very quickly, I end up breaking away. And usually those relationships are severed immediately because the entire time you didn't love me. You loved the idea of who I could become if I listened to your weak ass advice. If you really analyze people and the reasons why they want you to be performative, a lot of times it's because they're uncomfortable with themselves. They're uncomfortable with their own nature. They're afraid to explore their own nature behind closed doors, and especially in public, because they're afraid of what people think. And you are an extension of their reputation for whatever reason in their mind, especially when you're related to them. They're like, you represent me, you, my family. So if you're this way, then that says this about me, and we need to look good in front of these people. I don't give a fuck about what nobody thinks out here. Like, I don't care. I don't care. The only thing I care about is helping people. But I can only help people who actually are real with themselves. And that's only a small group of people that I'm even supposed to be helping in this lifetime, in comparison to the masses, in comparison to all the people that exist out there. I'm worried about me and my mission, my task. What I was given in my arsenal in this lifetime, with my gifts and abilities, and who I am authentically, and who I naturally speak to that actually wants to hear what I got to say. Like, there's only a certain group of people that I bring value to, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to be somebody else for other people that I wasn't born to even assist on their journeys. I'm nobody's savior, first of all. I'm nobody's savior, but I can help people on their journey by making the mistakes that I need to make quicker, so that I could have a solution. I could find a solution quicker and help them while they don't have the solution. And that takes me being authentic with myself. So if I'm being performative for you, family member, neighbor, whoever the fuck, then I'm just living like this aimless ass life. And it's just kind of, I'm being blown by the wind, like a little leaf, like being blown, like in each direction. I don't know where the wind is going to take me, but I'm just allowing it to. And I'm not going to have a sense of stability within. And eventually that destroys people, because like I said, like the authentic character, they're dying to express themselves, to learn about life, to touch life and come to their own conclusions. If you're not letting them do that, then you're just going to be an infant the whole way through in life, and you're going to wonder why you don't feel secure. It's because you don't know who you are, because you never had time. You never had the permission to explore. But guess what? You never needed permission. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. You never needed permission. And no matter what the consequence is of you expressing yourself, you have to fight through that. Like, I got beat physically many times by my mom for not being who she wanted me to be. And it paid off in the end. It paid off in the end. It really did. I'm so grounded. I'm grounded way more than that person was grounded while she was here. And that's no shade to my mom. That's no shade. I'm just giving you my experience. Me pulling back and holding tight to my identity while my mom tried to rob me of it, thinking that she was protecting me, was probably one of the top 3 greatest decisions I've ever made in life. For sure, without a doubt. Because she not here anymore. And imagine if I didn't know myself, especially after she wasn't here, to call her for guidance, because she's the character. She built the character. If I was being performative, that means she built the character. So I would always have to call her up and think and ask her what she thinks about this decision. Even though I'd be miserable, that whole way through, calling and asking for her advice on this character that she's built, at least I guess I have like a titty to latch onto like a little baby. But like her passing, imagine me not having anybody to call that built the character, like the actual creator. I can't call them to ask like, hey, I I, I don't know how to read the manual. I don't I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like while I got a family. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. You ever met a nigga who is grown and is a mama's boy? It's horrible. It's the biggest ick. Biggest ick. But it's because he allowed his mama to dictate his steps the entire time. He felt safe under her wing. Same with niggas that be daddy's boys. And girls who be mama's girl and daddy's girl. Like it's disgusting when people get older and they're still that. But it's because they're performative. And you can't trust a performative person. You can't. Because who are they? Who are they? How can you do life with somebody like that? Like, I don't do life closely with any performative characters. They're around me. I see them everywhere. They're in my family, friends, not close friends. Definitely not. Like, but just people who are, I guess you could call them acquaintances. Like, they're always going to be around. I always see it immediately. Like, you're performative. You're not. It's so easy to see because it's like, if people were more authentic in life, if more people were authentic, truly themselves, you would see a very like unique world. You would see a very super highly creative, expressive world. And there is a lot of that in this life, don't get me wrong, but there is so much more that is just bland and robotic. It's android like. Niggas walking around looking like C3PO. And it's like even down to like how they talk. Like it's just like they're walking on eggshells. And it's like, bro, you grown. Like you could do whatever you want. You could do whatever you want. You could actually choose to be a horrible person. And you know what? Not too many people could do anything about it except for the law if you actually breaking the law. You feel me? And sometimes it's going to take a long time for the law to even catch up with you because you're doing your dirt in secret. It's like people literally have the ability to do them and they don't realize how much they can just do that. They don't realize it. You got to get around more authentic people. You really do. You really do, to see how liberated they feel, whether they're reckless or whether they're living their life right, upright. Get around them to see that you can also be liberated and then make the right decisions, of course. Make the right decisions. Respect people's autonomy just the way you want to have people respect you. Respect people's ability to have their own opinion, even if it's completely opposite of yours. Unless, it's something wild. Like the world's getting wild today. Niggas defend pedophilia. Niggas defend rape culture. Niggas defend genocide and colonization, all that stuff. So it's like, pick your battles with niggas. I stand on what I stand on. I just, if you got opinions about any of those things that are opposite of mine, like, we gonna squabble about this, like in our conversation, for real. And if it comes down to actually having a fight, like, and I'm not getting arrested, oh yeah, we gonna go there. That's what I stand on. But you see, that's what I mean. Like a lot of times people don't stand up for what's right because they've been performative the entire time. So me, if I hear anything, see anything that's just absolutely not right, like the things that I just listed, I'm not gonna hold my tongue. I'm not gonna hold my tongue about that. Why? What are you gonna do? What are you actually gonna do? I'm a grown man, bro. I'm grown. I could do whatever I want to do. I can say whatever I want to say. I just use the wisdom that I've acquired to keep myself grounded the entire time and not let you take me off my square. But there's moments where I gotta get in front of you and tell you about yourself. And a lot of people that are performative just won't do that. They don't have the courage to do that. They really don't. Because they're afraid of what surrounding characters are going to say if they step up and, agitate somebody that is wrong. They're scared what the person who is the perpetrator, what they're going to think if they step out of line. It's like, that's how you create people who literally turn a blind eye to oppression of any sorts, who don't stand up for children, who don't stand up for women, who don't stand up for the weak in general, anybody who's oppressed. They just won't. And like, the whole people pleaser culture is just, I don't care who it is that's telling you, again, to be performative and to stay in line. You can't do that, because people are going to suffer if you end up being that character, because you're going to have to stand up for, first of all, yourself. And there's going to come a time where you have to stand up for people along your journey. And if you don't have the courage to do so, what's the point? What's the point of your existence? Like, really, what is? Because you don't stand for anything. You really don't. You don't stand for anything. Like, even things that I don't like agree with that aren't necessarily bad, but they're just like kind of stupid in my opinion. In my opinion, I still respect the people who stand on those things. I respect them because at least you stand for something. At least you stand for something. I don't like questioning like what somebody stands for because I can't see it, because they're trying to play it safe. I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good at all being around those type of characters, and I'm sure it doesn't with you either. You got to rid every ounce of people pleaser in you so that you actually can represent something that matters, which first and foremost is yourself, and then the things in this life that actually matter to other people that will help them in life if you stood for it. Like, I tell people about this one sometimes. I was at Chick-fil-A. I think it was years ago for sure. And I think I don't eat there. I was doing like a DoorDash delivery or something like that, right? Uber Eats, some shit, trying to make some little money. And a lady, black lady, 2 kids in the backseat, probably like in between 6 to 10, in the backseat, girl and little boy. She stops in the drive-through area to get out of her car to come inside to get some sauce for her kids real quick because they forgot it in her order and she didn't want to go all the way around, right? She comes in, gets her sauce, she goes back out, and some nigga is outside cussing her out. Some grown-ass man cussing her out, telling her get back in her car and hurry up and all this stuff, talking to her like she is not even a kid, talking to her like she's just worthless, like she's not human. That wasn't my business at all, right? It wasn't my altercation. But wrong. No, it is my business because I stand for women and I hate bullies, right? I hate bullies. I got bullied when I was a little kid. Like, I hate bullies. So I stopped what I was doing. I didn't even care about my order. I didn't care about the money or nothing at all. I was actually on the phone with a friend. I stopped the conversation. I stepped outside and I was ready to fight. I said, "What's up?" She got 2 kids. This is a woman. Who are you talking to? Like, I'm confused. Who are you talking to? And the nigga tells me shut up and to go back inside. And I said, "No, you shut up, nigga. What you gonna do? You're not about to talk to her like that in front of me." I look around and ain't nobody else doing anything. There's men in their cars, women in their cars, people on the inside that's working there. I'm like, y'all gonna let somebody else talk to one of your, you gonna let another customer talk to another customer like this? Y'all men gonna let some stupid ass random man talk to a woman like this with kids, especially in her car? And the nigga is like, "I got kids too. My son in the car." And I'm like, "Nigga, okay, that proves my point even more." What? That's the example you setting? You're weak. And he just went back to his car. It's like, "Nigga, shut up, whatever." He didn't want to do nothing. But you see, I was ready to like drop everything. I'd go to jail for that. I really would, because it's worth it. You feel me? It's worth it. Now I got a daughter these days. I didn't have a daughter back then, so maybe not jail. But if the nigga put his hands on her, oh yeah, nah, nigga. This is self-defense. This lady is fearing for her life, and I stepped in. Because I stand for something. I stand for something. If I was listening to people tell me be a people pleaser the entire time, I'd be just like everybody else who was in them cars and inside the restaurant, not doing anything about it. Just weak, a coward. Because I've been trained to be a robot, a performative robot. I follow the guidelines of what society says we ought to be. And it's like, what is that? Who said that that was right? Who says that that's the way life should be? It's not. There's another way of living. There is a whole free way of living. You could still be yourself 100%. You could stand for what you stand for 100% and still get through this life very smoothly. You could still have people love you. You could still have people adore you, because guess what? The people who are performative are trying to protect their reputation and have nobody hate them at all. For whatever reason, they're just scared of that. They don't want people to dislike them. But you will still have a lot of people dislike and hate you, which is the crazy part. So what are you doing? You've lost your real self, and then people also still don't like you. So what was the point the entire time? What was the point? Your parents, who you tried to please, or your grandparents, are still going to have problems with you and still tell you not to do X, Y, and Z, and that they don't like it along your journey while being a people pleaser. So what was the point? What was the point? You lost yourself. You lost yourself. Reclaim your identity, bro. Reclaim your authenticity. You have to. You have to. It's for you and for everyone else. You are able to be of better service, is what I've been saying this entire video. This is what it, like in a nutshell, you're able to be of better service to yourself and to humanity when you are actually yourself. Because you, the real you, possesses power that you haven't tapped into yet, that is of extreme value to you and the rest of the world. It just is. Or the portion that you're supposed to speak to and are supposed to service. I can't imagine not being me. Like, anytime somebody tries to take me away from me, I feel so just like disgusted. I just have to get away. Like, I gotta go. Like, you don't like the way that I dress. You don't like the way that I talk. You don't like the way that I walk. You don't like the thoughts that I'm spewing out of, my mouth that come from my head. You don't like me to change my beliefs. You don't like me to explore different beliefs. You don't like me to, walk on the wild side and into danger and come back out with information unscathed. I've always come back out unscathed from my adventures. I go on crazy adventures when it comes to the information that I download, like the books that I read and the research that I do, to like my actual travels in life. Like, I actually just go on adventures. I love them. I love to learn about new things. I love to like just dive into things that I don't know anything about, the unknown. It's so fun. There's so much to do here. There's so many quests. This is the greatest role play game ever. And you're telling me that I can't go and do it? And that I can't come back out like an updated version of myself? You want the software to stay the same, or you want to hijack it and have it be what you want and live in this little ass box? Like, look at me, bro. Look at me. Do I look like somebody that you could put in a box? Like, physically, do I even look like it? Like, does my aesthetic look like it fits in any kind of... No, it does not. It does not. Even in my most plainest clothes, which I wear when I'm out with my family to go, like, just do regular life, take walks and go eat and, go handle our little errands and stuff like that. Like, I'll have on the most normal attire, running shoes, some sweats or some shorts, and a shirt that has no logo on it or anything, no name brand, anything, except for probably the shoes, like some Nike shoes. And I even have busted shoes for a while. I just got new shoes after years of sacrifice of having holes in my Air Force Ones that were extremely dirty because I wanted to move overseas and make sure I was, saving my money and not spending it on stupid shit. Like, I still am highly expressive because I have a whole big tattoo on my head. I have a tattoo on my face. I have tattoos on my neck. And these tattoos on my neck, one of them, the main big one, and then the one on my face don't even fully represent me at all anymore. They only represent me in a sense to where the expression of them like being right here, like plain for you to see, still feels great to me. They're neatly placed, they're bold. I love it. But what they represent is the old versions of me ago, like old versions of me ago. They're religious tattoos. And I'm not getting them covered up because it's who I was at a certain point on my journey, and I learned something else. And I was like, oh, I don't even believe in that anymore. But this is still cool. Like, I don't care. I don't regret this in any way. Like, it's me. Like, it's me on the journey. And a lot of people are just like, no, don't do that. Even when I wanted to get the religious tattoos, it was just like, are you sure you want to get them right there? Are you sure you want to do that? What about a job? What about this and that? It's like, I don't care. I don't care. That's why I'm doing it, because I don't care. And I'm not reckless. I just literally have never cared about what you're telling me to think about. I never cared about no school. I never cared about no jobs. I never cared about any of that stuff. So you don't care about money? How are you going to provide for your family? In other ways? Because that was never for me. That route was never for me. I'm an artist. What are you talking about? I'm extremely rich already. What are you talking about? No, you're not. Blah, blah, blah. You still have to pay. Blah, blah, blah. No, like, I'm not a baby, bro. I'm not immature. Why are you so invested in my life? Don't you got a life of your own that's not together that you need to fucking worry about? I think so. From our last conversation, it seems that way. And did I tell you what you ought to be doing? No, I didn't. Because it's your life. And I respect you. I need the same respect. If you don't want to give it, snip, snip. You're cut out of my life. That's how it goes. Like, I don't. And people are scared to do that. They're scared to go, like, no contact. I will go non-contact with anybody. I'll do it with anybody. Grandmothers, mothers, grandfathers, fathers. Like, I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. I have done it. Ask these people. If you know them, ask them. I've done it. And I will continue to do it if anybody steps out of line and wants to try to dictate how my life is going. Tell me what I ought to be doing. Because guess what? I've manifested everything that I need. I've manifested it all. I've manifested what I need. The things that I want on top of this are really extra on the journey. Like, if I died today, I would be highly upset in the afterlife because I got things I want to do. But I'd be like, this was a great ass life. Like, I did it my way and I got the results. Wow, I did it. And people can actually look back on that. They can reflect on that after my death forever and be like, he did that shit. And he did it the way he wanted to. And he got more than what I got, being a performative person. Wow. And I'm going to acquire so much more. If I continue to live, I'm going to acquire so much more. And more doesn't look like material wealth. I say it in these videos all the time. It's the manifestation of my heaven. And my heaven has multiple things in it that are essential to my life in the way that I want to live it, in the way that I want to give to other people, because this is how I contribute. This is how I'm of value. I'm going to do those things. And I'm going to do it so uniquely that nobody can replicate it in their own life the way that I do it, because it's for me. But they can take the principles and utilize them in their life and get very similar results, the same level of results in their own unique way. If I didn't hold on to my true identity when so many characters came along, literally born into it, the person that pushed me out was the first person, my first oppressor, that tried to whip me into submission. If I didn't fight against all of these characters, starting with that first character and all the other ones who came along, you wouldn't have this guy here. I'm scared to even know what that nigga looks like. He's a dork, whoever he is, if he's in a multiverse. I feel bad for him. That's a slave. That's a slave. That's a lame nigga. He is a coward. He did not fight for his own self. So he can't fight for nobody else. He can't stand for no children. He can't stand for no women. He can't do nothing. He can't stand for the weak, the people that are being bullied. He's too scared to go and punch a bully in his mouth. He's too afraid to throw stones at a bully. He's too afraid to stand up for justice when it comes to politics. He's too afraid of the damn social media algorithm even. You know, there's niggas that are performative for the social media algorithm, which we don't even know what it is. It's just some kind of like robot or something like behind closed doors, like that doesn't even physically exist, most likely. It's just like some numbers, some kind of coding. Do you know that there's people that are performative for that because they're scared that the algorithm is going to penalize them and take their account away and take away their money? And a lot of people haven't even made money from social media yet, and they're scared of it because they have this dream of making money from it. So they're just like, I'm gonna say the things that people want to hear. Like, I see it all the time. I know when people have performative content, I'm just like, what are you doing, bro? They're scared of that, and they're scared of the people who view them on social media. Like, nigga, what are you doing? This is your phone. It's just a phone. It's just a screen. It's just a screen, bro. Like, what are you doing? There's just such a lack of authenticity in the world. Like, people are scared to actually just be them. They're afraid to get canceled in their own like family dynamic and in their social groups and online. Like, they're scared. And the bigger the reputation that people have built, like, they're more scared because they're just like, I built my reputation on the backs of these people, and like I've been performative the entire time, and I really have things that I want to say, but I can never say them, so I won't, because I got to keep up with this mask that I wear, this image. Nigga, you have to change, you have to evolve. That's what life is about. You evolve, you change your beliefs. Nigga, I don't care. Like, if I know that me, the real me, is exploring and is coming to conclusions of his own, then that's just what it is. Like, that's just whatever I land on, that I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. This season, I agree with that. That's where I'm at. Yep, because of A, B, and C. I'm gonna go in that direction because I'm the one who brought me here. I didn't depend on anybody else to bring me here. I brought me here. And if that was a mistake that I landed here, okay, and who gives a fuck? I can make an adjustment tomorrow. I can say, oh yeah, I believed that yesterday, now I believe this tomorrow. Like, and I don't care what you think about it. I don't care. I'm not crazy. I am, but I'm not. Like, I'm not. Again, I stand for the right things. Like, I've always stood for the same things, and I stand for those even more today. Foundationally, I just stand for those things. I just do. Like, it's wrong to hurt women. It's wrong to hurt children, bro. It's wrong to rape. It's wrong to uh, kidnap. It's wrong to abuse in any type of way. It's wrong to be disrespectful unless somebody is disrespectful to you. And that doesn't include children. If a child is being disrespectful, you should never disrespect a child. Like, I just stand for certain things. And like, it just is that way. And then there's other things where they have room to be customized. They have room to be altered. They have room to be disposed of. They have room to be picked up again out of the trash and refined to create something new. Like, it's life. Life is creation. Life is art. It's your life. I can't wrap my head around, because I've practiced for so long being authentic, the idea of allowing anybody in this life dictate how my life ought to go. That's why I'm so open when it comes to people and their beliefs and the way that they maneuver these days. I really am, because I'm just like, it makes sense. That's where you're at right now. That's where you're at. And if I feel like that's too destructive, I'm not going to tell you, you're too destructive. I'm going to tell you, hey, I don't like that for me. I don't like it for me, but I don't want you to be performative for me. You do you and learn what you have to learn. I don't need you to be anybody for me. And then I'm on with my life. Because if you're that way, we've all done it. We've all done it to somebody in life. We've all told somebody that they shouldn't be doing something. We've all done it. Like, you shouldn't be doing that, bro, because it's stupid. A lot of times, a lot of stuff that people are doing is stupid. When we're telling them that, like, people like you and I who actually are authentic, like, you shouldn't do that. That's actually dumb. But a lot of times, like, you grow up and you discover, like, niggas Niggas don't listen because they got to learn for themselves the hard way a lot of times. And that's just the way it is. And if you don't want to get hurt in the middle of them learning a hard lesson, just back out for a little bit and tell them you'll be there next season if they come up out of that. If they don't and they, are led to their demise, they chose it and that's just what it is. And let it be. Mourn the situation and move on. I've had to do it several times. It just is what it is, bro. You got your own life you got to think about. We all do. And individualism, I've said it before too, it's an illusion. We are supposed to be doing life in community. But at the beginning and end of the day, you are responsible for you and your actions. And you're responsible for taking care of the person within, right? And you have to do that so that you can take care of other people. And if somebody is harmful to you and the community, you don't have to be so pressed about it, bro. You can just remove yourself instead of trying to remove them. Just remove yourself from the equation. And communicate it. Don't be afraid to communicate it. Say, I'm moving away for a little bit because I don't like how you getting down. We talked about it. I don't like it. And then go. It's really simple. Yeah, the more of us that are authentic, the more we inspire other people to be authentic, that are inauthentic or behaving inauthentically. Like, it's still, somebody can snap out of that. There's a lot of people who actually, like, you can hear stories. It's far fewer than more, unfortunately, but there are many stories where people are just like, I was this way one day, like going to school and I had this education and I was doing my life this way and, I got sick of it or I physically became sick and I just changed my life. Now I'm doing something else and a lot of people have problems with that and I had to keep fighting for myself because it wasn't giving me the results that I wanted. It was killing me inside. So now I changed my life. Like, great for them. And guess what? They only did that because they heard somebody else who was living their life like you, if you're on the other side, if you live your life authentically, and somebody like me. So we have to be loud about that. We have to be very loud about how we live our lives. That's why I express it through my clothing. This isn't no get up for the sake of just being a goddamn get up. I don't need to put on a costume to perform and, be a coon for people. Nigga, I'm me. I like to wear costumes. I like to wear my plain clothes when I'm out a lot of times, and I also like to wear my costumes when I'm out a lot of times. And for social media, I want to show up as this side of me. I want to show it because a lot of times I showed up. Like, you could go and check my TikTok videos. Like, my TikTok videos prior to these videos that I'm starting to put out now, I was just like driving around and, living my little life in the States, and I just had on like plain clothes. Just a hat, no hat, chilling with like, normal stuff on. And that's when I was wearing the what's it called? Oh, did this come on? Oh, no, it's flipping. That's when I was wearing my busted Air Force Ones. And nigga, that's me not caring. I was able to wear the busted clothes comfortably because I didn't care. I just didn't care. I could be the busted version of myself and then I could be the super like elaborate version of myself, avant-garde clothes and highly artsy, because I care about me. I love me. I'm comfortable with me. Whoever I show up to be out in the world is how I chose to show up. I didn't do it based on anybody else's preferences. Like, even when I'm out here in a foreign country and I'm dressing like this, like, I look like an alien. I look like I dropped from somewhere. People don't dress like this over here. Barely do they do this in the States. So me coming out here and doing this is like very liberating to me because people are just like, when I walk down the street, that feels good. Not because I want the attention, but because you see me. You see me. You see one side of myself that I wanted to express today, and you see it. Like, he's alive. He's not a goddamn ghost. He matters because he exists. Be you. And when it comes to like the propaganda that's out there that's telling you to be X, Y, and Z, question whether or not that is something that you want to be. And if you got to go through that on your journey and it's something like, like there's a lot of people in the trans community who are like, I don't want this no more. I don't want to be the opposite no more. But now I can't go back. So I'm trying to like do as much reversal as I possibly can. But there are permanent damages done to me and my body and my brain. I got to deal with it. Shout out to them because nigga, they chose it and they're owning it. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. Me and my wife worked with a person who became our friend, who was trans, was a woman before, transitioned into a man, and we love that nigga. We love that nigga. One of the most like beautiful people I've ever met, like physically too. And that person, I gave them room to express themselves when other people was hating because it wasn't big like how it is now. It was years ago. It was like 2016, like 2016. Yep, 2016. And like giving that person room to be them allowed us to see who that person was beyond what a lot of people were able to see because they had their judgments. And if that person shows that they want to go back to being a girl, cool. Do that too. Like, it's your journey, my nigga. Like, who am I? Like, I didn't grow. I don't know what the fuck you done been through. I don't know if this person was, sexually exploited along their journey or anything like that. Like, who am I to tell you who you're supposed to be? I don't know. I have no context and I don't care too unless you want to share those things, and then I have no care to like have judgment on top of my context that you gave me. It's just you're a human, and if you're being respectful, it's my job to be respectful, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? A lot of people don't want that. They're just like, nah, bro. Like, I don't get down like that, so I don't fuck with this person. And it's just like, you didn't even give them a chance. You didn't even give them a chance to express who they really are, and therefore you never will know that person because there's no room. There's no room for them. You never know what anybody's going through. You never know how lonely somebody is, and if somebody's on the edge, and you could be that one person that accepts them in your life because you want people to accept you, and you know how it feels to not be accepted. And when you let them express themselves in front of you comfortably, you might have yourself a long life, a long-term friend for the rest of your life, and you might have saved them from a lot of self-destruction. You feel me? People don't be thinking. People don't be thinking about this shit. I do. I do. I do. So yeah, I'm gonna end right there. I feel like I'm rambling. Be you. I love you. Peace.